Hi guys, I'm Lisa.
And I'm Natassia.
And we were wondering,
are you free for coffee?
Welcome, welcome.
Hello, guys.
We have Book Club Kennedy here with us today.
Okay.
My youngest and favorite child.
Favorite for today.
No, she's always a favorite. She always has the best book recommendations for us. So, one that I want all of us to talk about is Spare. I haven't read it. Mm-hmm. I don't know if any of us have read it. Prince Harry has been on all the talk shows talking about it, but it has been released to phenomenal sales.
Yes.
So that's out, and it's kind of interesting. And there's been a little backlash, I guess, from the palace.
As there typically is.
But my take on it, if you don't want the truth told, you should have did better. That's it. That's how I feel about it. So I don't know. What do you think, Kennedy?
I'm more interested in his story than I was like Meghan Markle. Like, I feel like everything related to what's going on with the palace has been centered around Meghan, which I did not like. Because I felt like
he had a story independent of that. I could agree with that.
Yeah, I feel like he knows the real tea, and that's what I'm interested in. More so, like, Meghan, it's just like, okay, y'all don't like her because she's black, and, like, that's all I need to know. Like, the conversation got real boring real quick for me, and so I'm excited for, like, the tea. I've been watching all of his interviews, too. Like, he's been doing the circuits of all the late-night shows and stuff, and he's a lot more likable, I think, now.
Yeah, more relatable. Yeah. I think the thing with Meghan, I think the gunpowder was there. She was the match.
Yes, I agree.
That's really what it was. It wasn't, I don't know that it's centered on her, but her entrance into it just lit it up.
Is what made everything, kind of explode.
But it is interesting.
I think I agree with Kennedy. Like, he knows the real. Like,
it's been going on a long time.
It's been going on a long time. It was well before her. And if she said, I can't take this, I'm out, it'll go on after her. So I can agree with that. I'm very interested in his story and his perspective. And
he's just calling people out, calling out a king. I thought about this today. Really, his mom was the side chick, even though he married her. Camilla's always been it.
Yes.
That's what he wanted.
Yes.
That's what he's always wanted.
Yes.
But he married Diana because that's what was expected of him.
Yes.
He used her to have children and do his duty.
Yeah.
And so unknowingly,
that's so true.
To her, she was the side chick. So
she just happened to be the one that got the ring.
And, he called it out. It's messy, but, you did it. You just have to own stuff and move on. And I don't know what everybody's upset about. I just feel like you can't be mad because folks told what you did, and you did it.
And you did it.
It's embarrassing.
They didn't make this up. This is what you did.
But just suck it up. You did it. And if you didn't want it told, stuff comes out.
Yes.
I don't care.
What is it? What's done in the dark will come to the light. It's going to
come out.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Yeah. But I'm interested to read it. My mom has it, so I'm going to borrow it from her. But that's out there.
It's long, too.
It's long?
It's a little too long for me. Yeah, it's like 500 pages.
Okay.
Too long for you?
That's a lot. Reading about somebody's life.
Well, I guess he's got a lot to say.
We'll see. It may be one where once you get into it, your 50 pages have passed before you look up and you're like, oh, snap.
Maybe next time you come on, we'll have read it and we can give our real review.
Yeah, that'd be good.
So what's coming out or what's out now that you're reading? Can you give us? What's some recommendations?
I'm all about the easy read these days. And so it either needs to be like a little like beachy, happy ending, that type of vibe.
Okay. I'm all about the HEA.
Or not an HEA, but like thrilling and easy to read. So I have a few. The first, I can't remember if I've already talked about this on this podcast, but One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that one.
So this author, she's like a gay icon. Like, she has another book called Red, White, and Royal Blue that's about a British prince who's gay, but like closeted, of course, and then he falls in love with this man, and it's like about that whole journey for him. And it was like hugely successful, like the biggest book of, I think it came out in like 2020 or something. But this is her second book, and it's about this girl who's like in her 20s, and she's really cynical. She doesn't have a whole lot of like connections or relationships outside of her mom, and she moves to New York City and gets this apartment with like a bunch of strangers who are actually like really lovely and nice, and she's a student. And she makes her way to the subway one day, and there's this girl there that's like really cute. She has on like a leather jacket. She has like this short haircut. She looks like an 80s like rocker. And immediately this girl's like, oh my God, like she is
love at first sight.
I'm obsessed. But of course, like it's New York City, so she's like probably never gonna see her again. But then she sees her again. Like every time that she goes onto the train, she sees this girl. And they have like a cute little like first interaction, like a little meet cute. And eventually she learns that this woman is stuck on the train. She's actually from like the 70s. And because of some little sci-fi event that they end up explaining later, she is trapped on the train, cannot get out, and is like stuck at the same age that she has.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, that seems cool.
And so
I was going to say, that's your jam.
That is.
It's so good. So they're trying to obviously get her unstuck so that they can be together. And it's really cute. There are parts of it that are like a little sad, just like typical like 20-something-year-old woos and woes. And then it does have a happy ending at the end.
Oh,
it's really good.
Okay, that sounds really different.
I'm gonna buy this. Okay.
It's really would recommend.
Okay.
My other happy ever after, I think, I haven't read it, but it sounds cute. It's called 30 Things I Love About Myself, and it's by Radhika Sangani. It's about this girl named Nina who is 30 years old, and she ends up in jail like on her 30th birthday.
Ooh, okay.
And like her and her fiance just broke up. She has to move back home with her mom. Her career is like fizzling out. Like she's just like not doing good. And while she's in jail, this book ends up in her cell, and it's called How to Love Yourself, and then in parentheses, and fix your shitty life in the process. And she's like, oh my God, this is a sign from the universe. Like, it's looking out for me. I need to get myself together. And so she makes a vow to use this book as like a manual for self-love. And she has the goal that by her next birthday, she will have found 30 things that she loves about herself. And so it's a cute, like, I found this in...
That sounds cute.
Like the romance section, but it's like a self-love book, which I think is unique.
Okay.
And I haven't really read anything like that before.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
So, Natasha, are you reading anything?
I'm only reading Ratchet stuff currently.
I'm reading another of your Rex, Kennedy. I'm finishing up The Love Songs of W.E.B. Du Bois.
Oh, yeah.
Which is so long. Now, you talk about long. That's long. And I'm struggling a little bit with it. I do like it, but, but there's a couple that I want to read. One is The Marriage Portrait, which is historical fiction based on a true story of a young girl whose sister is betrothed to some duke or something. Well, the sister dies, and so she's got to step up.
Oh, snap. Okay.
And kind of last minute, and within a year she's dead, but we don't know how, who did it or was it natural? I don't know. So it's kind of a mystery based on true events and historical fiction. So I'm excited about that one. It was a Reese Witherspoon book club rec. So that was.
Is that the same author that wrote Hamnet?
Yes, Maggie O'Farrell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And the other one I want to read is The Davenports.
Yes. Oh, you sent me that.
It's coming out, I think the end of this month.
It's the end of this month.
Next. Okay. And it was marketed as kind of a Black Bridgerton. So it's set in 1910 Chicago. He's like one of the only or the few wealthy Black men in America, the dad, and he was a slave, and now he owns, it's like a carriage company or maker or something like that. And there's 3 daughters, I believe. So it goes, into their love lives. And so it's kind of Bridgerton-ish. So I'm kind of interested in that because actually, and I'm not trying to throw no shade, but the Bridgerton books just didn't do it for me. I read the first 2 and they
don't do it for you.
They just don't.
That's fair.
They just don't. They had a little heat. I can't even describe
but not
them.
enough.
And then it wasn't even so lack of heat. It was just, they were so basic, not very, it didn't do it for me. So I'm hoping this will.
Okay.
I'm hoping this will give me my Bridgerton.
Your Bridgerton
fix.
So you asked what I'm reading. So for anyone that has Kindle Unlimited, which I do, sometimes it's just easy to read on my phone or like if I'm nursing at night or something, just whatever it may be. So Kasha Thompson is someone I've read like 4 of her books back to back to back. And the one I'm reading now is called Figure of Speech. Now, total disclaimer, all of these books are romance with some sex. Like that's her
jam.
That's her jam. But most of them are happily ever afters. And honestly, most of them could happen to anybody. But that has been my Bridgerton heat fix. Like while I'm waiting.
Current?
They're current.
Okay.
They're current. Yeah, they're all.
So it's
current.
set in modern times.
Mm-hmm,
okay.
Mm-hmm. They're all set in modern times. And this one right now, it's really cool. This is a pretty good one. I was reading like just back to back to back while I was pregnant, and then just between switching jobs, having
you've been busy,
a new baby in the house, I have not been reading like I once was. So this is probably the second book I've picked up. So this will be my 2 books for January.
So Kennedy, what are you reading right now?
I'm reading a book called Love in the Big City by Sang-Young Park. It's he's a Korean author, I want to say. Yeah, Korea's most exciting young author. And this was translated, I think, last year, but did really well over in Korea prior to. And I'm not sure if it's going to be a happy ending. It's a little sad.
What's it about?
This little man, he's like a graduate student or something, and he's gay and just kind of like has a lot of like there's a lot of like social things that he has to navigate, and also just like being comfortable in his sexuality. But then he has like this best friend who's a girl who also like, has her own like sexcapades that she's going on, and just like weird and a lot of times like bad and traumatic interactions with men, and they're kind of like navigating it together. But then at some point she makes the decision to like settle down and get married to someone that, I mean, I think she likes him, but I don't know, it doesn't seem like she's like head over heels for the guy. Like I don't really know why she made that decision. And so with her settling down, he's like now navigating it by himself as a young person. And so it's kind of just one of those, I don't know, growing
different
type of books. It's written really well. Like the language is really good. And then I had just finished reading Verity by Colleen Hoover, which is the opposite. Like I read it in like a day and a half, but the writing is terrible. Like, oh my God, a fifth grader could read this. But I'm not trying to shade it because it is really good. Like this book is crazy. Have y'all heard of it?
Verity? What's it about?
Verity. Oof. It's about this author named Lowen who she had like one kind of successful book, but then her career more or less is like not happening. And she meets this man who is the husband of a really successful writer who does like thriller horror books. And it turns out that that author, her name is Verity, has some medical ailment going on to where she can't finish a series, like a really popular series that she had started. And so they hire Lowen to finish this series for her, and not as like a ghostwriter, but it would be like a co-author type deal.
Oh, okay.
Because she already signed the contract and all of that. And so he's like, come to our house. We have this huge mansion, and she has this really big office that has manuscripts and notes and research, and it's just like you can immerse yourself in this world that she was creating so that you can finish these next 2 to 3 books. And she goes, and the stuff that she uncovers about this family is insane. And then like Verity is still at the house as well. Like she has a caretaker, and she's cooped
What's
up
wrong with her? Like
she
like
can't
an
tell
invalid.
You. She can't tell. I'm reading the book plot, Kennedy, because I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be getting this today.
Is it scary? Is it
no?
Like
it looks
thriller?
like it's a romance thriller suspense.
I don't know. That'll be a movie. Watch. That'll be a movie.
There's definitely moments that are like a little creepy.
Okay.
But it's entertaining. I won't say that it's good, but it's very entertaining.
I think I'm going to be getting this today.
Well, if you said it was a 5th grade level, it'd be easy to read.
Yeah.
Which is,
exactly.
And it's not super long. It's 290 pages.
Okay. Well, that sounds good. Those are good recs.
Oh yeah, I'm going to be getting this one for sure. This seems interesting. I'm reading the plot.
So, up next, our picks for the sexiest man alive this week. But first, a message from our sponsor, BetterHelp.
During hard times, it can get really difficult if you don't have anyone to talk to. Being alone with your thoughts can be an isolating feeling that can allow negativity to consume you.
This is why we are sponsored by BetterHelp. BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to.
There is a broad range of expertise in BetterHelp's 20,000 plus therapist network that gives you access to help that may not be available in your area. You just fill out a questionnaire to help assess your specific needs, and then you get matched with the therapist in under 48 hours.
Then you schedule secure video and phone sessions. Plus, you can exchange unlimited messages, and everything you share is completely confidential. You can request a new therapist at no additional charge anytime.
Join the 2 million plus people who have taken charge of their mental health with an experienced BetterHelp therapist. So many people use BetterHelp that they are currently recruiting additional therapists in all 50 states.
Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/free-for-coffee. That's betterhelp.com/free-for-coffee. Okay, so I want to give a little definition, because we have some new followers and new listeners of what the Sexiest Man Alive this week is all about, because the originator is here with us, yes. Kennedy. So when Kennedy was in high school, she would have a crush on whoever. I can't even remember who was in back in the day, but somebody. And I would say, I saw so-and-so on TV, or I saw his record or whatever. And she'd say, oh, him, we broke up. She'd keep them for about a week, the crushes. So she was the inspiration behind the Sexiest Man Alive this week. So you only have to keep them a week. This is not a love forever thing. This is just this week. So, Kennedy, do you have a Sexiest Man Alive this week? Or you need a minute to think?
Give me a minute.
Okay, I have somebody.
Oh, me too. Okay, who do you have?
I have Ryan Reynolds.
Ooh,
and really,
go you!
You know what I like about him? He's a youngin'. Everybody too young for me.
He's not young.
But I love his relationship with his wife.
Yeah.
They're so comical and funny, and they kind of troll each other and stuff. He just has a great sense of humor, and he seems like a genuinely nice person.
I agree. He's funny and handsome.
He owns a soccer team.
Yes.
With, and I cannot remember, Rob, what's his last name? Like McElhenney or something like that.
Oh, I can see his face.
The guy from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And they have a show, it's kind of a reality documentary type thing, telling about them owning this team, of which they know nothing about soccer, and them trying to learn about it.
It's very Ted Lasso-y.
Yeah, it is very Ted Lasso-y. So he just seems like a nice guy.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, and that's
cute. A little out of your norm. Yeah, I like that for you.
Went all out of my lane.
So mine is really dedicated to Kennedy, because this is one she thinks is sexy. I chose Chris Evans because I'm going to agree that Chris Evans is sexy. And like I said, this is really because I want to say that was the first time we had Kennedy. No, second time. I think that's who she chose, or some kind of way he came up.
And he wasn't he the Sexiest Man Alive?
He was like at 1 year.
This year?
Yeah.
Some
year. One of these years.
Too long ago.
Somewhere during the COVID mania.
He is.
He's
really
cute.
And he's a nice guy too.
He seems like a really nice guy.
Yeah.
He's dating someone, ain't he?
He is.
He is.
And it kind of crushed my dreams a little bit. Little bit. Yeah. So, and it was kind of not anybody that I would have expected either. Was it you?
No.
I can't remember who it was.
Yeah,
I remember
was like,
kind of being
this?
like, oh.
She's in some Netflix show.
Okay.
That like Nun something.
Okay. Oh, her Traffic in Chicago. Okay.
Yeah.
How very Chicago.
My Sexiest Man Alive is Niall Horan.
Girl, why you always pick people we don't know who it is?
How do you spell it? How do you spell his last name?
Horan.
Oh, okay.
Wait, why does this
He was a member of One Direction.
Oh.
And I loved him back then, but he really did not get the shine that he deserved. Like, he was a little dorky, and I feel like he was in the background.
Okay, wait. Help me with who's One
Direction?
Yeah. Is that Harry Styles?
Harry Styles.
Okay. Well, that's why.
Yeah,
because Harry got it. And who's the other guy in it?
And Zayn got it.
Zayn, yeah.
Zayn's the sexy
okay.
one.
Well,
Niall was always just cute, but honey,
he came
Niall
out.
is sexy now, okay? And can't nobody tell me differently. He recently got picked to be a coach on the new season of The Voice.
Oh, now that's something.
He's having a moment, and he has an album coming out next month. He just, and he dresses so well. He has this kind of like vintage look. He wears like cardigans and he's
not dresses like Harry. No offense, but Harry and the dresses are doing it for me.
Kennedy, you might be onto something. This is some nice white bread. I'm going to show you some pictures. Yes, girl, he has on this kind of mustard meets amber.
She loves mustard. That's
I
why.
do. I
She
do
loves
love
that
the color.
Yeah.
He has this mustard meets amber vibe about him in the sweat. Okay, I'm with it. I'm with it. He is white bread. I want to say that but
maybe like sourdough or toasted.
He's Irish.
Oh yeah,
like,
he's definitely sourdough. I'm feeling it.
Okay, Kennedy.
Okay. Yeah, no, Kennedy always brings something new because, honey, I did not know who this was at all. And now I'm like, okay, I could see this. Yeah, look at him with his little coach. Okay. All right. Well, that was a good one. Okay, Kennedy. So here is my question for you. What is your one book like mantra or love for this year? I know you said easy reading. Do you have any book that you're just going to have on repeat or something you want to read that you feel like I have to get this done this year?
I have a couple. So I think along with like easy reads, I'm really into reads that like supplement or help boost creativity.
Ooh.
And my husband and I both have like taken up new hobbies recently. He's been trying to learn how to draw. And so we went to Barnes & Noble and got like a bunch of like drawing books and like drawing guides, how-tos. And then for me, I've been learning more about floral design. So I have 3 books. One is called Cultivated, The Elements of Floral Style.
Okay.
By Kristen Guillot. And then The Flower Workshop by Ariella Shazar. And then The Flower School by Joseph Massey. And they all are like really helpful in talking about like color theory, which flowers go together well in arrangements, how to take care of them. It's all a part of like,
creative expression.
Yeah, and just like investing in your hobbies is important.
It is.
The other book that is not to do with floral design that has been on my list for like 2 years is Cicely Tyson's autobiography.
Okay.
Just As I Am. I got this sent to me in PR like as soon as it came out, and it came out like the week that she died.
I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know really anything about Cicely Tyson. Like I've seen her in movies, obviously, but like
she was before your time.
I didn't understand like what like an icon she was, or like how she was important to the culture. And so it's been on my list. It's also long. It's like 400 pages, so I've been avoiding it, but I do want to get through it this year if I can.
She had a very interesting life,
she did.
You probably would enjoy it.
I think
fast.
She will. Yeah, I think it'll be a page turner for sure. Well, as usual, thank you for joining us. We always love hearing your picks, and it kind of gives us some variety and it gives us inspiration. And I'm big on books. I think when you're in a rut, books can take you places that you may not be able to get to on your own, whether it's financial limitation or time limitation. And so I'm just big on kind of escaping in books. So I love to have you on the show for that reason. Thank all of you for pulling up a chair and joining us for coffee. Please subscribe to Are You Free for Coffee podcast wherever you are listening. We hope you enjoyed today's episode, got some good book tips, and find joy in the little things. Until next time.
Part of the Boundless Audio Podcast Network.